Hello?
And hello, I just unmuted myself. Well,
Oh, how are you?
I'm quite good, and I got my own feedback. Well, for the people that didn't hear what I said, which was everyone watching, because this is the second time I I run this setup. Today's guest, Joe, welcome. You were introduced to me by doing a really well done interview with what I would like to say the political prince of Twitch, Mr. Destiny Bonell.
Oh, yeah, Stephen. Yep.
Yeah, it was that was kind of my introduction to you, and you seemed like a bit of a nerd, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, I am just a little bit, not too much though. Yeah.
Well, I really look forward to getting to know you a bit more. And I said also in my muted introduction that your haircut and facial hair should be an inspiration to everyone.
Thank you.
I wish more people were a bit more like you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to any men that I see that are balding, I try to tend to say, hey, you should just shave your head because it looks sad. So
It's the best way.
yeah.
I actually used to have like hair all the way down to my ass.
Oh wow.
Like really long. I used to be like really black metal. Yeah. So
Cool.
then
I wish.
then somewhere along the way, things started happening, and
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention. And yeah,
It's okay.
well,
It is what it is. Yeah.
yeah. But you are a Twitch streamer, content creator. How did that come along?
I'm pretty new. I'm pretty new to Twitch actually. So I got into Twitch because a friend of mine who used to be known as Raj Patel on Twitch, who's now known as the Austin Show, introduced me to Twitch, and pretty much I was hanging out at his house with two other friends, and he was like, "You should really try Twitch out." He's like, "I think you do really well on there." And I tried it. I've been doing it for about a year now, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun for me. So
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. But what did you do before? I know you worked in marketing.
Yep. I used to work for a company called Wax.io, which was it was a cryptocurrency company. I was the head of influencer marketing for Wax.io and their other company, OP Skins. So I used to work for those two companies. Yeah.
It sounds a bit like the Crypt Connect.
Oh yeah.
You didn't make that one.
Yeah, no, I did not do BitConnect. No, I did not work for
BitConnect was
BitConnect.
it?
I wish I did because I think they made a lot of money, but no.
Yeah, I think so too. But so you were head of influencer marketing. So you had all the contacts with the influencers and trying to set up campaigns and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I used to work mainly on YouTube. And then after a while, I saw the value. There was a big value proposition in Twitch. So I moved into Twitch. And the only way that I knew how to meet people was to go to conventions and shake hands and get to know people. So OP Skins and Wax used to send me to a ton of events, and I would book, I'd book the nice hotel, I'd book the nice flight, I'd book the dinner reservations, and I'd spend a lot of money. I spent a lot of their money to, to meet these people. And it's a strategy I learned from working in casinos, because it just worked for me. And so I became friends with a lot of these people. I like to build like meaningful relationships rather than just like business specific relationships. So that's what it came to.
Yeah, because you used to be, I don't remember the title, but like sugar daddy in a casino. I don't think that's a professional term.
No, I was a VIP host. So I used to I started as a VIP host, but I used to work. I used to work in nightclubs, and there was 5 of them that I worked in, and I would do bottle service. That's where I started, and that was like 9 years ago. So it was a long time ago.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 30. I'm going to turn 31 this year.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm 38.
Okay, yeah.
I'm getting up there.
Yeah, well, it's okay. We're all getting older. It's not a big deal.
Well, the only way you don't is not the best thing. So I tend to appreciate getting older.
Yeah, me too. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but how would you, for my audience that might not know you, how would you describe your channel and your content?
So my Twitch channel is extremely random. It's I used to do this thing where it's just the morning cup of Joe, where I would just talk and interact with my chat and build like a family-based community, because I felt like I was chasing the partnership on Twitch for the longest time, and it became kind of stressful for me.
Yeah.
But I was doing it because I thought you needed to do that to like acquit and like fit in with the crew of people that are on the platform. But it's a lot of just chatting is my primary focus. Interviews is like my main core attraction. And lately it's been like gaming, like Among Us or Fall Guys, and then I'll also do gambling too. So I like to gamble. So that's another thing that I'll be doing. But so like those four things usually. Those four things.
And it's also it's more fun to do with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've had a couple of times now where I've just when I've been working late,
yeah,
and I just stream it. Just so I can chat with someone.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
What do you enjoy the most about the content production and the interaction with the community?
I think in terms of production, I just really enjoy like building something and creating a narrative and driving people through a story. That's what I really enjoy doing. I'd like to think I'm a great storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to share people's stories. I think a lot of people have very interesting stories that they need to share. And they just don't have the right outlet or the right moment to be able to share their moments and stories. So that's what I enjoy the most about what I'm doing. And it's a really good way for me to meet new people. I'm a super extrovert, so I need to constantly be around people and talk and like shoot the shit and just hear random things. So it makes it really fun for me to, especially with interviews specifically, I get the opportunity to like meet people and kind of like talk to them on like a core level rather than like the surface level, like typical standard, I guess. So I think that's what attracts people to my interviews, is that it's more of like a personal, like just a conversation more than anything. So that's what I've been enjoying doing. Yeah.
I find both your interviews and the kind of the mission behind what I'm doing also to be quite similar, because in a lot of today's media you get 30 seconds, maybe you get 1 minute, and then you have to boil down the essence of a human being into 1 minute. That's or 260 characters. That's not humanly possible.
It's not, no.
Is there anything about what you're doing right now you don't like?
I think the one thing I don't enjoy the most about Twitch is that it never was a numbers game for me, but it kind of feels like it has become a numbers game. And you know, I have a bunch of friends who stream, you know, some that get 20 viewers, some that get 50, 60, 70,000 viewers. And, you know, I'm like less than 100 maybe, you know, or like maybe a little bit more. Sometimes I'll, you know, my most was like 2.7K and consistent. And it's just like, it's so fucking random that it just stresses me out. And it's like, well, why don't people want to watch me? You know, it's like, I think I'm pretty funny. Yeah. So it's like, but then you think about it from like a fundamental perspective, and you're like, you realize that like Twitch has a very terrible platform for discoverability. And the only way you can truly grow on Twitch is if you work off of Twitch. So I've been putting a huge emphasis on YouTube lately, and the translation rates, it's awesome. It's great. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see in the setup we're in right now, I can see the amount of people watching on at least one of the platforms, but then on Facebook. So I really, for me, it's more about the conversation and actually getting to know someone. But I notice that my eyes kind of drags towards the number and see, am I doing good now? Is this okay? But yeah, I really hate that about it also.
It's really unfair to ever feel like we should be in a position like that, to be worried about how many people are watching us. Because there's times where I'll stream and there's 50 people in there. But then I think to myself, there's 50 people. That's enough to fill up like a bar.
Yeah.
And they're all just staring at me while I'm talking about nothing. So if you think about it in terms of perspective, you know, even if you can captivate an audience of 5 people, that's 5 people that are sitting in front of you listening to what you have to say. And you can make an impact in any which way. It doesn't matter how many people there are. I think I became too jaded by being used to high numbers, and I could never do things for the sake of content, like to act out or be a certain way just to like appeal to getting more viewership. I couldn't do that. I feel like that's like unethical in a sense. At least how I feel. So
yeah, because it's really it's not hard to get a lot of viewers, and I say that in the most humble way possible. If you want to have like loads and loads of viewers, I'm guessing you could take in a video game just some kind of weapon, go out on the streets and kill people in GTA or something, and live stream it, and people would flock to it, and you would have as many continuous viewers as you would want.
Yeah, I guess if you really wanted to, in a video game, grab a gun and shoot people in a video game, then you probably would get a lot of viewers, I guess. Yeah. But, I mean, again, the other way, they call it leeching on Twitch, is just, like, associating yourself with, like, higher viewer count folk and trying to, like, peel their audience away from them. But at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, like, no one's going to want to watch... no one's going to want to watch you if you're not interesting to them. So you can't really leech. I don't think leeching is really a thing for the most part. But
well, if some people have the same kind of content, so I'm guessing if I really like watching someone play Fortnite and giving some okay commentary, another person playing Fortnite giving okay commentary would be just the same, maybe.
Yeah. I just let my Discord know that I'm doing an interview with you. So
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, because that also I was because regarding leeching, I was like, normally I ask people if you want to share this on, but first of all, I really don't know how Twitch works in that way, and second of all, I don't want to be like clout chasing.
No. It's not like that at all. I think, like for instance, I don't ever ask anyone to host me or anything like that when I do my streams, because I just think it is weird, but they just do it on their own accord most of the time. I think it comes to the ground too. You should just kind of like, you should suggest it, but you don't have to like ask for it, right? Because I think if you say you're going to interview me, I'm going to do whatever I can to bring people to you, so more people get eyes on what you do. It just kind of makes sense.
Yeah. In my intro, when I was muted myself, I said that I thought you were a nerd. You kind of affirm that later. When did that start? When did you realize you were a nerd?
I've always kind of been a nerd, honestly. When I was 10, no, I was 11. I had my cousin Zed was supposed to be like my math teacher, and well, he was supposed to be like my math tutor.
Yeah.
And my mom like asked him to come help me because I was so fucking bad at math, and so I would go to his house and he'd teach me because he's a software developer. And he would teach me math, but I would always get distracted because he had this game called Diablo 2, and I'd be like, what is Diablo 2? It's so cool. Like, oh my God, it looks so fucking cool. And so after a while, he like gave me Diablo 2, and I finally installed it on a Dell Pizza Box laptop or a desktop, and I played Diablo 2 like endlessly, and I played it for about 6-7 years nonstop. And it was awesome. He broke me into video games. So when he was supposed to be teaching me about math, I learned about video games, and it pissed my mom off. It pissed my dad off because I was supposed to be doing sports. I was supposed to be fucking cool, all this stuff. I didn't want anything to do with that. I wanted to like bring my Warcraft like book with me to class and like read the lore of like Warcraft, and like played StarCraft with my brother when we were on a LAN, like back where you had to use a hub and 2 dial-up cables to connect. Yeah. Like that was, so I've always been like a computer gamer, and I was 13 when I started playing this game called Star Wars Galaxies, which it's like one of the first probably 10 MMOs, I think. And that was my first introduction to like the MMO scene. And I made all these friends who were like in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And they were all just really nice people. So nice to the point where like I went to a wedding when I was 16 for 2 people who met through Star Wars Galaxies. So I've always been a nerd. And I think like I love the culture. Like I think my friends and I used to hang out on Friday, Saturday nights, do LAN parties for Halo every fucking weekend for the 5 years that we were all hanging out every night, and eat pizza and drink Mountain Dew. That was like, so I've always been like this. Yeah, I've always been.
Your nerddom kind of it engulfs computer games. Do you have any other fiefdoms within your nerd sphere?
I tried doing like web development for a while. I couldn't really get into it. I tried to watch anime. I can't really get into anime. My brother tries to get me into anime, and I can't do it. I don't really read enough. I should read more. I want to read more. I love like tech. I love seeing what's going on with tech. And I've been building computers and doing. I went to a trade school when I was 16 to learn how to be a network engineer. So I went to 2 years of that, and I became like a Cisco certified network administrator. So out of high school, I had like a sweet $18 an hour job back in 2008. And I was killing it. So I love tech. Yeah, I love tech. All things tech.
Yeah. I've been the facets of my nerddom is I've always been into video games. I got my first computer in 1988.
Oh, cool.
It was a Norwegian produced computer called Atiki, which basically was like, have you seen the green and black screens?
Oh, yeah. It's old school.
Yeah, and 2 like this big floppy drives.
Mm-hmm.
So I built my first one in 92, I think.
Oh, cool.
So I've done that, and I've had role play, not on the computer, but like dice and tabletop.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I do board games well, I'm back in New York. I live in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
But I've been back in New York for about a month and a week or so. And I've been doing board games every week. So
what kind of board games do you like?
Lately we've been playing like Mysterious. It's been like I've done like D&D, Settlers of Catan. I play Magic the Gathering. I'm a nerd. Like I love Magic the Gathering. So,
nerd flag flying.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, that's just something we do, and that's why I like being back home. Is I get to be around like my normal like non-Twitch friends, and I get to have like normal non-Twitch related discussions, and it makes it like way more enjoyable for me. So.
What would you say are the main differences between like a Twitch discussion and a non-Twitch discussion?
Twitch discussions are so there are a lot of genuine, beautiful people that I've met from Twitch, but there are a lot of people that just want to be famous, and I think it's just like. It's like talking to like a child. Like sometimes you can talk to a child and the child's like interesting and it's like, wow, you're actually a pretty fucking smart kid. And then sometimes when you're talking to a child, you're just like, what is wrong with you? Like, who is raising you? And that's like what Twitch conversations are like, because it's like polar opposites. You could have a great conversation with someone and they're very cool, very entertaining, very genuine, and empathetic. Or it can just be someone who's doing shit just to rile up the chat and just get people moving. But then like that bleeds into the real life perspective of it too, because these people are so conditioned to interacting with people on Twitch that they don't know how to fucking interact with people in real life. So they bleed that personality over into the conversations. And the minute I hear one person talk about their viewer count or their subscribers or whatever the fuck it is in real life in a conversation regarding Twitch, I just don't like that person. It's just so stupid to me. It's like, I can't get over that shit. It bugs the fuck out of me. So, yeah.
Yeah. When you mentioned talking to kids, I have two kids, a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old girl.
Oh, cool.
And my 10-year-old, 2 years ago, she came home from school and she had found a syringe with like a needle in it.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
Yeah. And she was like, Dad, I found this syringe. We should be so happy a child didn't find it.
Wow.
Because she's always been really, really mature and like, yeah, it's good that it was me that found it and not the child. So we can just discard this in the trash.
Oh, your daughter's brilliant. That's awesome.
But you also worked as a DJ in a MMORPG, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
What? Why?
So all my friends, I had this really good group of friends back in high school, and we all used to play this game called Matrix Online, and it was like such a great MMO, honestly. Like, they had this thing where you would use like a online DJ studio broadcaster. I forgot the name of the application, but you would use this application to broadcast in Matrix Online through like Winamp. And I used to DJ like every fucking night, and people loved the fuck out of me. It was like such a fun time. So me and my friends would hang out and we'd like do missions and like PvP and shit while I was DJing. It was an awesome time. Yeah. I was never like, and it was like the same like set list every single time. Like it was like 311 Sublime, you'd hear like Incubus, and it was like stoner music, but then you'd hear like fucking Sandstorm and like drum and bass, and yeah, that's still the same flow of music as I have to this day. It's horrible.
Then I would guess that every online game you have played ever since, you wish for that.
I have been waiting for a DJ function or like the radio function for Matrix Online and any MMO for the longest time. MMOs back in the day, where I don't know if you played any of those at all, but like City of Villains, like Matrix Online, EverQuest 2, like Lord of the Rings Online, like Star Wars Galaxies. These are the games that defined MMOs, and they're all gone now, which sucks. But
have you ever played Age of Conan?
Yeah, I loved AOC. It was good. It's a good game.
I went to the main office many times. I had like shares in before the beta and everything.
Oh wow!
I gave my brother advice investing heavily in Funcom right before the release, which he lost a lot of money on.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that happens.
Yeah, I actually made. I think we were the largest guild in Europe in Age of Conan.
Oh, cool.
Because I wanted all my friends to play on the same server.
Yeah.
Because when we played in like World of Warcraft or anything like that, we used to be split up and couldn't play with our friends and stuff. But my friends, like some of them want to do raiding, some of them want to do PvP, someone want to fiddle around and crafting.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I didn't play it as much as I did like World of Warcraft. You know, I played WoW way more than I would always go back to WoW. Any new MMO that came out, I would play it for like 2 weeks. I'd quit, go back to WoW, and do nothing.
Yeah, well, I was kind of pot committed in Age of Conan, but when they destroyed the PvP, I quit and went back to WoW also.
Yeah, that's the flow.
Well, if you now I have a section called the Space-Time Continuum.
Sure.
It's regarding the past, the now, and the future. And if you think about how you get to where you are today, what thing or episode in your past was the most defining to you as a person?
So I don't really think I'm anywhere right now, if that makes any sense. I don't think I've even hit like. You're referring to like Twitch, or just like in general in life?
General in life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think in life or as a person.
Yeah, so I'll just give you some backstory, I guess. I was 16 and I was buying and selling World of Warcraft accounts. I really wanted to learn. I came from a pretty poor family, so I wanted to make money, and I was trying so hard to justify to my parents why I spent all those hours and nights playing Diablo 2, and why I was a gamer and why I was a nerd. So I started hustling WoW accounts, and I remember it was the first day that I broke $3,000 in net profit in one day, and I was like, I can do this. I took all my friends to Red Lobster. I went out and I bought a MacBook. Like, I didn't even need that shit. But it was an awesome day. And ever since then I had this like hunger for like individual like growth and like seeing myself succeed and like seeing like how much of like the bullshit I could get around.
Yeah.
And like how much I wanted to prove that I didn't need an education to be able to be considered intelligent and to be considered like good at anything I did. So I went ahead and I finished high school. I worked at that job in IT for about a year. I quit. I went on a tour. It was a music festival tour for about a year. And I did 15 music festivals in a year. And I was writing for an online blog called like In Your Speakers. And then while I was on that road trip, I met like these other guys from another blog called Rolling Tough. And then I started writing for them. And I started to meet like really cool musicians. So I started to get really deep into the music scene. Yeah. And after about a year of that and literally $0 made and me being broke and I've been doing drugs, you know, I was fucking partying. I was having an awesome time. I came back to New York and I met this girl who I dated for a very short time because I started working at a nightclub. I met the guy through a mutual friend. I look up to this guy. He's like, I admire him so much. He met me and he was like, oh, you can write, you're creative. You know, you speak pretty well. He was like, how would you like to work in a nightclub and wear a suit and work in bottle service? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. That sounds fucking scary. I didn't own any suits. I had no money. So I borrowed money from my mom. I went out and I bought a suit that I wore nonstop for at least 6 months every weekend. It was 2 nights a week. And I would work for a hourly rate plus plus tips. The first 6 months that I worked at the job, I did not feel confident at all. I had zero confidence, zero social like ability. I'd get yelled at for not being like, I'd be antisocial. And it was because I was an introvert that played video games and just did drugs for almost 2 years of my life. So I had no fucking clue what to do. So after time, I became more comfortable. I started to build confidence in myself and value in myself and how I speak to people. And I realized that one of my strengths was being able to talk. So I took that and I started to apply myself in that position to grow in that company because it was a very good company. And they really liked people who gave a bit more of a shit, and they recognized that and they rewarded that. Yeah. So in the 6.5 years that I worked there, I busted my ass and I got 5 promotions in 6 years, and I grew to become like the head of marketing for entertainment and nightlife and hospitality. So I started at $12 an hour, and I ended up at like, which is not a lot, but it's the geographical area of this casino specifically. It was around like $60,000 a year, and it was like really impressive to go from like, for me to have 5 promotions, to be through shit. I'd be working 80, 90 hours a week. I'd be hustling. I'd be doing projects for other departments. I introduced the company to like Slack and like using Trello and all these like forward thinking like things. And it was just like, it was a lot of fun. And you know, if I ever got so fucked up in my life that I ever needed a job again, I could just call that casino and I'd get a job instantly and probably be making 6 figures. So that was the start of it. So, and then that's where I started to build confidence in myself. And I found out about online gambling about 5 years into me working at the casino. And I saw there was like this huge opportunity for making a shit ton of money. And it was fast. And I was like, this sounds fucking awesome. So I did everything in my power to infiltrate that market. And I positioned myself as someone who could help bring creators onto platforms, and I could start getting them to do promotions. So I would think that me, and it was like a group of other people, really pushed influencer marketing. It was probably 5 years ago now. Yeah. And influencer marketing was like kind of like an afterthought. Like when I was at the casino, I remember when we got a deck from this group that was a DJ group, and they just started representing like Mia Khalifa or someone popular. And I was like, $2,500 for her to tweet about our casino? Like, that sounds like a fucking waste of money. And I was like, who the fuck's going to pay this? And we never did it. And the guy that was doing it was like just starting. He was just starting it. It was insane. And I was like, well, I could apply that to like online promotions in casinos. So I got with a group of people. They were building a website, an online gambling website. We marketed the fuck out of it, and we spent upwards of like $200,000 a week on average on marketing the website, and we were fucking pulling in $150,000, $200,000 a day in like net profit. So it was like the strategy worked, and I was like, influencer marketing is the fucking future. And this was like 5 years ago. Yeah. And I was like, no one else is doing this. We're fucking killing it right now. I was like, this is going to blow everyone away. And we fucking killed it. So I did consulting for like 3 years. I quit my casino job. I did consulting, and then I got hired by OP Skins, and they're like, hey, we see how good you are. They're like, we know how good you are. They're like, we know, like, we're launching this product called Wax, and it's like, it's going to be fucking awesome. And I was like, oh, absolutely. And I worked directly under the COO or the CEO, who's a super wealthy dude who has lived all over the world, but he founded a website called IGE, which was like you could buy gold, and he was the creator of RMT. So the guy I worked for founded RMT. He's like the mind behind RMT. So he's a fucking billionaire, and I got to work directly underneath him, and he was neurotic as fuck, but we had a really good working relationship. And I loved working for Wax and OP Skins. I made the decision to quit because I wanted to try to pursue Twitch. That was what happened. So. And look where I am now. I went from making a shit ton of money to making no money. So that's good.
But if you could go like 20 years back in time, what would you tell yourself?
Oh man, to hit on every girl that I ever thought was cute. Like, I was such a bitch. I was so self-conscious. To not be a bully, to like give a shit more about like what I was learning in school. All the things that like I feel like I kind of like lost when I was like a kid. I just wish I could like get those back and like have another swing at it. Because if I would have known that I would be the type of person I am today, 20 years ago, I would have been a whole different animal. I would have had way more fun.
Would you have been cockier, nicer?
No, I would have been nicer. Yeah. I'm not I'm a very like empathetic person, and I have a lot of patience, and I don't know. I wish I would have been nicer to people, because that's what ended up happening. Is I was a dick, and I didn't like who I was, and I changed that. So yeah, it was just a hard lesson to learn over time.
What things about you today do you think that 12-year-old Joe would be most impressed with?
Probably that I'm still working with video games in one way or another. I mean, probably like excited for like all the cool experiences I've had. You know, I've done so much shit, man, in the last 8 years of my life that I'm really proud of myself. I really like, I came from nothing. Like I had no expectations or aspirations for myself. And I was just like, always like, oh, I'll figure it out. You know, it'll be fine.
You sound like someone who just kind of decides to do something and then
I run with it. Yeah. I don't stop. Yeah. And I run with it until I know that I completed it. And then when I complete it, I usually move on to the next thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes when I meet people who really kind of stroke their own education, and they're like, yeah, well, I've had like this master's degree and this bachelor's degree, and I'm like, oh, so you actually needed to take that much education to get somewhere? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing I learned really quick after working in that casino is it's not what you know, it's who you know. 100 like. You could be the stupidest son of a bitch on the face of the earth and have a fucking awesome job. And all you have to be is like the cool guy. We used to call it the guy who'd bring bagels into work every morning. Because if you bring bagels every morning, people notice you and they remember that you're the bagel guy. So why would you ever not want the bagel guy to work for you if he's always bringing you bagels? You want him there because you want that bagel.
Yeah, I learned that education, it can be nice to have, but normally it's not what brings the bacon. I run a marketing company here in Norway, and we have done loads of hires that didn't turn out well, where people had like master's degrees or double bachelors or whatever. And we've had like people that have no degrees whatsoever but had learned like Facebook and Google marketing on their own, and they're killing it.
That was me. I did Google ads for like 2 years, and I had no idea what I was doing in the beginning, but I just learned and learned and learned, and then I started seeing conversions, and I started building like conversion tracking into websites, and I was like, oh my god, this single ad earned us $20,000. Like, whoa, holy shit. And I was like obsessed with it at that point. I was like, I want to make $25,000 off this ad, and it was just nonstop. And I love that part. I mean, I don't want to discredit education too much, because I wish I was educated, and I think eventually I will become more educated. I will go back to school.
Yeah, sometimes I really I get this uncertainty in myself. I remember I'm sometimes I'm a guest lecturer at the local university. I do some guest lecturing in digital marketing, and I was standing in front of this master's class in digital marketing, and I'm like, oh shit, I finished like half a year of my bachelor's, and I'm teaching these guys that are going through a master's degree. Maybe I shouldn't tell them. Maybe I should just keep it on the down low.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I actually went through the same exact thing, man. I went to a private university that's like $50,000 a semester, and I gave a speech on influencer marketing in front of like 100 kids. And I was like, because I made that mistake when I was there. I was like, yeah, by the way, like, just so you all know, I dropped out of college, and I was like, I dropped out of college, and I went and I did it on my own, and like, I was like, the things you learn from the industry, you have to like throw your feet into the sand and like try to run as fast as you can, because you're gonna sink. You're gonna sink super fucking hard, and you are expendable. You are so fucking expendable. And there's a million people out there that can run ads. There's a million fucking people out there. There's a million people out there that can go and book influencers to promote a product. Yeah. But there's not enough people out there that are going to become friendly with these people, that are going to break bread, eat dinner, like bullshit, you know, really like work a friendship out to like build meaningful connections and get like people that become passionate about what you're promoting. And that's what it was. I went through that with Austin. That was like a pinnacle defining moment for me, I think, in my career, was when I was working with Wax. Austin wanted nothing to do with Wax. He was like, I don't want to promote crypto. He's like, I don't want to work with a company that used to do OP skins, Counter-Strike bullshit. He was like, I wanted nothing to do with you guys. So it took me 4 months of me going back and forth with him, and me just being like, not even trying to like sell him on the product, just being like, yo, dude, like, oh, you're going to TwitchCon Berlin, like, let's meet up, or let's do this. Let me take you out to dinner. Like, let me, or you're going to be in LA this week. I'll be out there too. Let's hang out. It took me months of me like building like a meaningful relationship for him to be like, and he literally said this to me. He said, I'll work with you and whatever you promote. He's like, because of you. He's like, I don't really want to promote the product. He's like, but I'm going to do it because I like you. And that was huge.
Yeah, that's a really valuable skill to have. And I don't think that's, it might be teachable, but it's not something that you can get in a school, I think.
Yeah. It's a personable approach to marketing. Yeah.
Are there any things in your life right now that the 12-year-old Joe would be embarrassed about?
Oh, so much. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Fucking so much. I have I don't even know where to start, honestly. I'm a piece of shit. Like, there's so many things, right? My experiences with dating is atrocious. It's like been painful. It's been fucking mind numbing. What else? Probably some of the things that I've done for money. Definitely, you know, some of the work that I've done. Not to say I'm proud of everything I've done, but I've done a lot of work. That doesn't include like sex working. I'm just saying, like, just, you know,
you're not embarrassed about the sex work.
I don't do sex work, but I should. There's a good market for it, and I know I could probably make a good amount of money off doing it.
Yeah, you could do some influencer marketing.
Yeah. And I have industry experience as well, so I could definitely flourish in that environment probably. But no, it's a lot. I'd be embarrassed of a lot of shit. Yeah, stuff that I don't really need to get into, I guess.
Okay. What things from your life right now do you hope that you can kind of keep for the future? Like, what of your essence right now do you wish to have when you're hopefully old?
I hope I can live long enough to make an impact in one way or another, like a bigger impact than I have now. I've never realized what it was like to. I've always been like the friend of my friends who they'll go to talk to, or to look for advice, or to just cry to, or need a shoulder to, you know, whatever. But I didn't realize that when I was going to start streaming on Twitch that I would be able to make like an impact and make people laugh, make people open up to me, and people I don't know that become friends, or just, you know, people that look up to me in a way, or like, I don't know. I mean, I hope I can keep doing what I'm doing I can financially secure myself to be able to reach a bigger audience and to make a bigger impact on how people respect themselves and how people call people out on their bullshit. It's a really important thing to me. I don't like people who lie and feel the need to fit in. And I want people to feel comfortable with themselves. One of the things that I live by is like making myself feel uncomfortable to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I will constantly put myself in uncomfortable situations to force myself to feel comfortable. And if that means I have to tell someone that they suck because they might suck, I'm going to do it. And it can be a little forward sometimes, but I just can't change that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to seek the uncomfortable, just because if you have something in your life that you think or know are going to be uncomfortable, it's the smartest thing to do is to seek it right away to kind of get on with it. What kind of things inspire you in everyday life?
I don't know. I mean, right now it's been like Twitch, like starting my stream and like making people laugh and, you know, hanging out with my Discord or like introducing people to new people or things like that. And like, I like to see like my friends succeed too, because it inspires me to succeed. And like, I do see like, I do see something happening with all this Twitch stuff. So I just don't know where it's going to go or how far it's going to go.
Or how long it's going to take.
Yeah. Or how long it's going to take. Yeah. But I kind of I'm inspired to keep doing it. And I'm inspired to keep doing interviews because I love it. And it's like my favorite thing in the world to do, to like really get to know people.
Yeah, it's a really good way to get to know interesting people.
Yeah. And and that's the thing is like, I have this vision of not just staying on Twitch, and I'd like it to get beyond that and maybe, I don't know, like radio or TV. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go, but
if you don't mind me saying, I think you would be really good, like in-person interviewer.
Yeah.
You seem like a person that if me and you were hanging out in a bar somewhere, this kind of interview could be like getting really, really deep. I'm not saying it's not getting deep right now, but yeah, I think you understand what I mean.
Yeah. No, I prefer that. I would prefer to do all my interviews in person. There's actually, if I ever go back to Austin, Texas at any point, I plan on interviewing this Mia Khalifa, and I want to do that in person. I don't know if you know who Mia Khalifa is, but
yeah. I've heard of her.
Yeah, I think we all have in one way or another. Yeah. But there's yeah, that's it. Hopefully we'll see. I don't know. I'm inspired. I'm motivated. So we'll see what happens.
If this COVID thing ever gets, I haven't said anything about that because I get like small news drips from the US. How are things?
In New York, it's pretty good. In Texas, it's fucking abysmal. And I have no intention of going back to that anytime soon for a long period of time. So yeah,
I totally understand.
Yeah.
What kind of qualities in others inspire you?
I like emotional people. I like people who can express themselves and try their best to express themselves. I like positive people for the most part. Not forced positivity, just genuinely like happy people.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? I think who likes sad people.
Goths.
Yeah, I like goths though. I mean, man, I like all types of people. I like weebs.
Yeah,
I like
they don't like happy people.
No, but they like me though because I'll relate to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that. I mean, I think that's about where my direction is. Yeah.
What would you say is your most marked characteristic? Sorry about the butchering of your language.
No, you said the most marketable characteristic?
Oh, the most marked, the most clear and marked characteristics.
Probably me being so forward. I think me being very upfront and punctual, and probably like my delivery of what I say. It can really fuck someone up, or it can really lift them up. So I think that's the big thing, is how I speak to people. And
you have this really good quality of the deep baritone, which are quite distinct, and you have quite good enunciation on everything you say. And I'm
working on it. Yeah, I have to catch myself on what I say all the time.
Yeah, but you can also see it. You can actually see it in your face that you are thinking about what you are going to say before you.
I don't ever think before I speak. I got to be honest with you. I have a really hard time doing that. It takes more effort for me to think than I have diarrhea mouth. I just say whatever the fuck is on my mind. Sometimes I think. When I think and I do speak, it comes out very good. And I need to do that more often. I'm training myself on that. So
it might be since I'm asking you direct questions, maybe.
I have to think about those. Yeah, because otherwise, if I'm just talking to like a stream, then I'm just gonna puke things out all the time.
Yeah. What quality do you like the most in a person?
Sincerity. I like sincere, honest people that are I just want meaningful relationships with friends and significant others and things. I just want people that want to be around me, and I like, for instance, like Austin, Texas. Like, I haven't been there in like a month or so, but I've had dozens of people reach out to me and be like, "Oh, I miss you. Like, I hope you're doing well." And I was only there for 9 months, and I had only seen them maybe 5-6 times, but the people I guess the impact I had on people was so significant that they feel the need to reach out to me and check up on me and see how I'm doing and ask me how I am and tell me that they miss me. That's so, just more people like that. Just good people.
Yeah. What do you value most in your closest friends?
The
same?
No, I mean, the thing that if I can be honest with them and be candid, that they appreciate that, and that they want to hear that. I want people who want to hear what I have to say for who I am and not for what they want me to be. So I appreciate full like transparency, honesty. That's so important to me. Yeah.
What in your mind, what would be your greatest misfortune?
Probably just parts of my childhood, I guess. But I mean, like, everyone has experiences, right? Like, I shared my personal experience with being like raped when I was a kid. I shared my experience of that, which took a lot out of me because men don't typically talk about things like that. But I shared my experience of that, and I did that because of why I feel like I have a platform in the first place. Because I feel like the purpose of any of this shit is to try your best to make any level of impact, to encourage other people to share their experiences or to get them to talk. But I came to realize like that, like, I don't know. I mean, my misfortune is another person's experience, and I'm not the only person that's ever gone through that before. And I'm not the last person that'll ever go through that, unfortunately. So if I can help mold a narrative that like empowers people to like want to be stronger, better people, and to stand up for themselves and to be independent, then my misfortune was necessary, I guess. And it happened for a reason. So it made me who I am today. And so, but I think that would be my biggest misfortune, at least.
Do you actually think that things happen for a reason, or is that just an expression?
I think it's an expression, but I do think that things do happen to help mold you as the person that you're supposed to become, or the character that you will be. That's how I feel about that, at least.
But is there like a overarching narrative to it, do you think? Like a god or a cosmic being that directs these things?
I do believe in God. I don't know. I don't know. I was born and raised Catholic. I never really got into religion. But I do believe that there is something. I don't know what it is. I want to believe in something. Sometimes, like last night I was with someone I'm seeing, and I had an eyelash on my eye, and she pulled it off and she said, "Make a wish." And I was like, because it's, it's whatever, right? But I was like, I just want my family to be healthy. So I know you can't say your wish, but I think there's like a 12-hour period where you can and can't say your wish. I don't know what the discrepancies are, but I wish that my family would stay healthy. Yeah. And I asked God. So, yeah, that I do believe in God. Yeah. I don't know what God is, if he's like ethereal, or if he's like Mephisto from Diablo 2, or if he's, some crazy shit like that. I don't know what he is, but yeah.
He's the cow level from Diablo.
He's the cow level. Yeah, he's the cow king.
Yeah, I used to be Christian from age 12 to 26, I think.
Yeah.
No, 27. When my wife were pregnant with our first kid.
Yeah.
I had this. That was actually really, really hard for me, because I went from being a hardcore Christian with I have 4 tattoos. One is of Jesus. The two others of them are crosses. So I was really into the Jesus and heaven, and so in that pregnancy, I basically went from believing I had eternal life to coming to terms with me living for 80, 90, 100 years maybe, and then rotting. So that was really, really strange. But I didn't have it in me to continue, because I'm really I really don't like alternative shit and healing and magical stones and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I was always teasing and arguing with people like that for believing that mumbo jumbo. And then I was like, but Hage, you believe that Jesus lived on the earth and died for your sins, were crucified and then raised from the... Don't you see some... Yeah, so that was my coming to Jesus moment. I don't...
Yeah. I kind of started to lose faith in religion when I lost my little cousin to cancer, and she was 4. That's when I started to be well, she was raised Catholic, she was baptized, everything, and she was a great child. Why is she dead? That makes no sense. So I lost a lot of other family members. I've kind of lived around death in a sense for a long time, and I was always well, why do I always end up at a church, and why am I praying, and why am I doing this? Obviously God is selfish, and Jesus is selfish, and he takes these people away from us. It doesn't make any sense to me. I was why would I want to believe in this if it's not? It should be beneficial. It should be life-giving and flourishing and things like that, but it was the total opposite. So I respect religion. My mom is very religious, and I love her to death. So yeah, it is what it is.
Same with mine.
Yep.
This last year has been really shit in that regard. My mom was diagnosed with cancer a year ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's breast cancer with spread in the lymph nodes. So yeah, But then this last Christmas now, my dad was like, I have a pain in my stomach. And he went to the doctors and they just put him in the hospital. And then 2 days later, they said, oh, well, it's cancer. We can't do jack shit. And then he was dead.
This is your father?
Yeah. He was 63 years old. Died
so young.
New Year's. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I can't imagine what it feels like to lose your parents. I imagine it's very difficult.
Yeah, I kind of went into, I think, depression, but I don't know because I've never been depressed before. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that. We've all, at one point, we've probably been depressed. We just don't know it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I remember one time I was on the phone with a client of mine and I just started crying. And it was so embarrassing, but yeah, of course.
But there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. It's good.
Speaking of death and dead people, how would you like to be remembered?
As someone that always cared. Yeah, someone that always cared, someone that always like looked out for the best interest of other people and always respected others when they needed to be respected and let people know when they were acting out or doing something they shouldn't do. I want to be remembered for just being a real motherfucker. That's what I want to be remembered for. Just being an honest, like hardworking person. That's it.
A really, really good answer. Who are your favorite fictional heroes?
Fictional heroes?
Yeah.
Oh man. I really liked Mad Men. So I can't think of his name, but
Don Draper.
Don Draper. I fucking love Don Draper. I mean, Don Draper is like my idol. I was like a horrendous like slut for a while in my life, and I would just like fuck a ton of chicks just to do it, and it was just like fun for me being like, I know that I could do this. And Don Draper was like an idol of mine, which is really bad because he's like a super fucking misogynist and like
he's super bad. And yes, he's also been a hero of mine. So
yeah, so I like him, and I love the way the strategy of him and how he thinks. It was really beautiful to me in the show. And then I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't have many people I really look up to, I guess. Besides like my old boss from the casino, I really looked up to him. I mean, he was like, he helped me become more confident myself.
Sounded like a really cool fella.
Yeah, we're still friends to this day. So I get to talk to him whenever I want, and he always has great advice to give if I ever need it. So
cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any heroes in real life then? Or is it just kind of
my mom?
Your mom.
Yeah, I'm a big mama's boy. So I've always looked up to my mom. She's an inspiration to me and a lot of other people. So yeah.
That's nice. What historical figures do you despise the most?
Is it too early to say like Donald Trump? Because it kind of sucks.
No, that's
all right. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say Donald Trump.
Unfortunately, he is an historical figure.
Yep. Maybe Adolf Hitler. He's kind of a shithead. What else we got here?
Genghis
Khan. Napoleon Bonaparte. That's Napoleon Bonaparte. Yeah. That's about it. I don't know. I mean, I to be honest with you, I'm so stupid in the sense of everything else besides what I know that
But doesn't that apply to everyone though?
Yeah. And that's actually one of the main reasons I started doing interviews on Twitch. Is so I could learn more about other people. Because like I've had the opportunity to interview a lot of really interesting people that have like their own stories and like their own walks of life. Like I always go back to this interview with Iron Mouse, who's a VTuber So I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she uses like a like an animated version of herself on streams.
Yeah.
But she has a debilitating health issue where she can't leave her room because she is like she has an extremely compromised immune system.
Yeah.
And so I always think back at her and how strong of a woman she is, and how I would have never have known her story if I didn't interview her. And nowadays I see her stream and she's fucking succeeding so well. She can provide for her family. And she's become a great friend of mine. And I would have never have had that opportunity to learn about her life and the type of person she was if it wasn't for me doing that. So, and to be honest with you, I don't think anyone I know would have, any of my viewers or community would have known about her if it wasn't for that as well. So I like the fact that I can share people's stories and I can, I can help them. So
perfect.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, that's my main appreciation of interviews. Also, if they're done right, you can learn so much about people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for content, also, it's like it's the for me at least, it's the most mentally taxing, but it's also the most rewarding. Because you have to be totally within the moment.
Agreed.
You can't be like I used to do, like some sort of blogs where I talked about marketing and gave out advice and stuff like that. But
yeah,
you have to do so much pre-work, and after if you do the interview in a good way, you have to be really in the moment.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. What kind of natural gift would you most like to possess?
Natural gift. I'd like to have a smoking hot body. I'd love to have a smoking hot body, but I don't think I ever will.
How would you like to die?
You want the honest answer?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Jesus Christ, it flew out of me. That's a part of my brand, by the way. Probably in a McLaren 720S, going 180 to 200 miles an hour while getting a blowjob, high on coke, and crashing into a tree. That's how I'd like to go.
Yeah.
As long as the person that was blowing me would be
250.
It doesn't matter. I mean, over the age of 80, maybe 90. I'd like to live until 90. I'd like to, but I smoke, and I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I can really imagine the newspaper, the front page.
Yeah,
90-year-old Joe found in McLaren.
McLaren crashed into a tree with person who escaped with no harm whatsoever.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, but and then as the car impacts the tree, I bust a nut, and then it just ends. That's like how I want it to happen, you know? Like literally, like on impact, like I hit the tree and then it just goes black, and then I wake up in heaven. That'd be great.
What vice do you have that you most like to give into?
I love alcohol. On occasion. I also love. I smoke like a chimney when I'm drinking.
Like tobacco.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much smoking. It's my biggest vice. I'll have to get past it eventually.
Yeah, I used to do that. When did you start?
I started when I was 18, maybe 19 actually.
Old one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
in the woods of Norway. I started smoking when I was 12.
Man, that's wild. I started smoking because I was doing like cocaine and acid during this time, and I was like, man, I really got to find something to complement these things. And my friend was like, hey, try this menthol cigarette out. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like a fun time. And I like had like a pack, and I was like, oh, this is great. I can't afford cigarettes though. How am I going to be able to buy these? And I'd be like, well, I would just go return the bottles of alcohol that I purchased, and I would go get 5 cents per can, and I'd go buy a pack of cigarettes for $5, and I'd smoke the whole pack and be like, well, what am I going to do now to make money to be able to pay for these? And I'd be like, well, I don't know, maybe I'll fucking steal them or something. You know, like I was just like, I had to, that's how it started. It was bad. But hey, everything happens for a reason, I guess, right?
You know what a pack of cigarettes cost in Norway?
Probably, I'm going to say $20.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah,
I think they're at $15 now.
I was going to say, I bet you they don't want you to smoke in Norway, which is smart.
Yeah, I smoked until my wife went pregnant the first time. Then I stopped. So, well, Joe, it's been awesome to getting to know you a bit more. Thank you so much. These were my questions. I'm very happy with the interview. I hope you had some fun also. I
did. Yeah, I appreciate you bringing me on here. It was a good time. Thanks for letting me talk about myself. I don't really get a chance to very often.
Well, that's also one thing about interviews. People always love to talk about themselves.
That's what I say too. That's one of my favorite things to say is I love interviewing people, and anyone will want an interview because people love talking about themselves at the end of the day.
Thank you so much to your chat also, your audience. They have been active in my chat. They seem like nice people.
Yeah. The few people that came from my Discord are great folks, and they're very supportive of me, and I appreciate all of them for existing. So thank you for coming in here.
Well, it was so nice to meet you. For the guys, I do interviews like this sometimes. Half of the time it's in Norwegian. So for you Norwegian people, follow it.
Yeah.
So nice to, if you can just hang around 2 seconds after the stream, Joe. Have a nice day, everyone, and speak to you later.
Bye, everyone.